Hello, everybody. It's Lord Magicus. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. What happened here? Why is my screen gone? Oh. Uh, Give me a second here. Oh, there we go. All right. I just updated OBS last week, so might be some slight technical issue, but it's okay. We got it. We figured it out. Yeah. Here, I am here. Hello, Dark Merfolk. Yes, yep. We're here to play more Merfolk in Modern. We're still playing with Cenote Scout until Modern Horizons 3 drop. So, I think we've seen all the cards that leaked or spoiled at this point, and we have a good idea of what our deck's probably going to look like. We'll probably be playing Mono Blue with Rishadan Dockhand instead of Scout, and then we will play with 4 copies of the Harbinger of the Sea, and then probably some number of Flare of Denial. So the numbers and some of the stuff will get adjusted a bit. It is likely that Merfolk Trickster is the one that gets cut here to make some room to play Harbinger. We'll have to work with the numbers a bit to see how this shakes out, but yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Might have to cut a Hexcatcher, so, but it'll be okay. I mean, maybe Tidebinder. We might not. We might not keep all of the copies of this. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's definitely we're gonna play for the Blue Magus. So in the meantime, yeah, we're still jamming this build because I still believe in this now. I think that this is fairly strong. So yeah, we're not making any real changes to it. So the Stern Scolding, however, might become consigned to memory from the new set. The one that counters either a colorless spell or a triggered ability. I think that might be enough to replace this because it is good against like a ton of decks that we want like Spreading Seas against because it's good. It deals with Urza Saga popping off. It also hits stuff like the One Ring, like basically everything important in Tron and Eldrazi, which I expect will probably be a deck. But also, it's good against like Titan because they also play the One Ring in Saga, and it can also counter the trigger on Titan, so it can buy you a turn that way. So yeah, I think that might be a good card to deal with this. And yeah, and it counters Solitude and Grief, like the triggers for them. So yeah, pretty relevant for that. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we definitely have some real strong tools going forward. So figure out the exact numbers of that stuff. But yeah, the shell looks like we have kind of an idea of what we're doing with it. But we don't have those cards yet, so we're going to keep playing with the ones we do until we have those new stuff. So, all right. Let's get into our game here. I don't know if you hear the fan behind me, but it's like summer now, so the fan has to stay on, or otherwise I will die. Hopefully it's not like too bad on here. I don't know if Modern Horizons is going to upset the format as badly as number 1 and 2 did. But, I mean, there definitely are some really powerful cards in the set. I mean, we did get one of the more powerful ones, I think. We'll see. We are on the draw. Ugh. I don't really like this hand that much. Oh, this is way better. We'll keep this. I think bottom the Mutavault, I think. It's either that or the Subtlety. I think it's safer to bottom the Mutavault. We can always find a land easier with Scout. Misty Rainforest, okay. Doesn't tell us a whole lot just yet, but... Scout. I think I'm fine with that being there. Okay, I can play another Scout. So I can go Lord next turn, and then, like, turn 3, play Scout, and then potentially another Lord. Seems like a decent way to try to carve out here. Alright, Unholy Heat, so... Murktide? Alright, I mean, that's fine. So actually here, I might just play a Scout, because it looks like they're representing Counterspell, so... If they want to waste it on a 1-drop, I'm fine with this. Let's play the Breeding Pool tapped. Sure. Let them counter the 1-drop with their 2-mana spell. That's usually a good exchange for us. It could be another Counterspell. We don't really have the means to play around another one right now, but it's fine. Is it Archmage's Charm? Could be. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm still okay with that because they spent 3 mana to counter that, right? So if they just play like a Murktide or something here, we can just Subtlety it, and that still sets them back pretty far. It does kind of look, though, like they have another Counterspell. So I'm going to, like, try to play around it. As soon as they, like, tap some mana, then I will flash in Hexcatcher. No, they don't have a Counterspell. They just F6'd. Okay. That's got to be pretty good, right? If we can find the last land. Okay, so it was another Counterspell. Honestly, if I can get to a point where I can hardcast the Subtlety, that would be great. It kind of sucks, because if we had a Counterspell, or if we had like a Cavern of Souls here, we'd be in really good shape. I don't know what they have here. Hmm. Snapcaster Mage, Unholy Heat, I assume. Right? I mean, sure. That's fine. If that's the best they're gonna use this for, whatever, it's okay. Alright, their hand was literally just full of counter magic. I mean, this is... Again, if we find the 4th land and, like, we get the Subtlety out, that would be really good. Alright, we have to make some choices now. Interesting. So here, I can actually subtlety their subtlety to get my master in play. I think I'm supposed to do this here. They put it on the bottom, so that's usually a good sign. They still have 2 cards left, so I'm assuming one of them is probably like Murktide, which is going to be really big. We've already played like, what, this is our 3rd Island Walk Lord, so like, the odds of drawing another one are not great. But if we did find another one, then we probably start winning this race very quickly. But I'm assuming they're going to go for Murktide here. Lorien. What does that mean? Is that really all they had, is just cycle Lorien? That doesn't seem very good. Interesting. They might have removal, but I still have to do this anyway. Probably this turn I'll crack the Grove for a card. And we're hard casting Subtlety again. Sure. So they had 2, right? And when did they exile? Hardcast Lorien here. Oh, they just hardcast Subtlety. No, so I guess what? They just had 2 in their hand. Okay. Interesting. Well, they're tapped out, so this is a really good turn for me to draw a Lord here. Where the fuck was this when I needed it? Alright. Alright. May as well play it. They're attacking. So they have 2 turns, so basically I have to kill them this turn. Or interact with this somehow. And they have to have nothing in hand, so... I mean, our hand is kind of... We had a lot of good cards here, but they kind of, like, stacked up poorly against, like, what they had. Because we didn't have this Cavern of Souls. Like, if we started with this in our hand, we probably would have won this game, but... Not starting with that has, like, been a huge detriment. Okay, they either have it or they don't, right? Alright. Did you find removal? They have, like, Unholy Heat or Bolt, they win. Otherwise, they just die. They have instant sorcery land. Is this Otawara, maybe? Oh, okay, so they might not have it, so they're looking for it desperately. Holy shit, we won. Alright. That was pure fucking luck. They had 6 cards in hand there. It's like, there's such a small chance of us actually, like, getting out of that alive, but alright. And that was more luck than anything else, to be honest, so, alright, we want Trickster for this. I don't like Force of Negation for this match. Dismember is fine. Subtlety is, like, okay. I don't actually think Hexcatcher is that great either. Tidebinder's also not terribly great. It's okay. Alright, we'll do it like this. Yeah, Mutavault is kind of a creature. We can hopefully scry into one. We do have Cavern. I mean, this hand threatens to not be terribly great, but I guess we'll try it. Well, they didn't do anything here, so that's a good sign. Oh, that is a fucking great card to draw here. Alright, Merfolk. You were not going to be, Stern Scolding on me today. Yeah, boy! They just fucking scooped the match. Okay, well, we'll take it. Whatever. Fuck them. So, alright. I don't know why. Like, there was no reason. Unless their hand was, like, literally all just, like, counterspells or something. Weird. I mean, it's possible maybe they weren't playing, like, Murktide and maybe it was, like, some sort of, like, is it control list or something instead? But, I don't know, like, they're not, like, completely lost here. Like, they could still fight pretty hard, so I don't know why they would just give up. Just totally demoralized, I guess. Well, we get to be on the play, so. Not with this hand, though. This is only a little bit, but this actually is not really much better. Like, if I don't find another land here, I'm so dead. Alright, well, we have to keep this. We're getting rid of Force, and we get rid of Scalding Tarn. We just need the 3-drops to really do their job, so. It's a rough start to this, so. See what our opponent's doing here. Taking a nap, it looks like. We've kept 7 cards, so that's usually not a good sign. We really... I mean, honestly, it almost doesn't matter what's on top here. Alright, well, it's fine. We found a land, so we're definitely casting our 3-drops in turn 2. It would be nice if we found something to play next turn, though. Like, if I find like, any 2-drop with this, I would still probably keep it on top just to have something there, so... Now, what we don't want to draw is, like, another land. We want a creature badly. We have, like, about 50% odds to find one, so... Naturally, okay. Snow-covered forest is a really interesting one here. It doesn't really tell us very much. Okay, so this is probably Living End, I'm guessing. Which means this Tishana's Tidebinder matters a lot. Okay. So we're probably not getting this Svyelun out this turn, I'm guessing. Actually, you know what? I guess it's... No, we can play Svyelun here. Because, alright, well, we just picked up Force. Like, they only get, like, 1 creature back. We have the Force, though. That, like, makes it a lot easier to do this. I just hope that they don't go for it this turn, really. I mean, it's possible they might not have the right mana to do so. Yeah, okay, this is good. Because now we can flash in Tidebinder and just counter the trigger. So we need to have more pressure in play to, like, actually have a chance here. They might have needed to find the land here because they may not have had the 3rd land, so this kind of worked out. Don't think that it mattered. Well, you know what? I should not have played the island first because I could have drawn Mutavault here. And we want to draw a blue card. That's a great one. All right. I mean, it feels like we are probably winning this game at this point. Grief. I think we just Tidebinder the trigger, and then when they go for it, we just force it. And you gotta stack the triggers. Alright. Subtlety? What? Holy shit. Okay, Alright, well they just had literally everything, I guess, so... I guess there was nothing that we could have done here. They just fucking stacked their hand perfectly, I guess, and there goes Force of Negation. Okay, look, I can beat them having like one answer here. I can't beat them having two into their fucking combo. So unless they just don't have it, no, they do. Okay, here they got their land. Yeah, here comes Ardent Plea. Yeah, okay, no, they just fucking had everything. All right. Just a legitimate, like, god hand here. Alright, well, we want Counterspell. That sucks. Like, we were in such a good spot for that. I think we need Subtlety, right? And this is not really a Svyelun match. I think Trickster is actually a little bit better because we can play it at flash speed. Yeah, alright, we're just doing it like this. Okay. Damn, that sucks. Like, we were... Yeah, it took, like, literally them exiling, like, you know, for both Force and... Or, I'm sorry, for both Subtlety and Grief on the same turn. They spent 5 cards in their hand to just go off there, so... I guess. I mean, we were on a mulligan to 5 and still had, like, 2 answers, and they still needed to have, like, everything to do it, so... Yeah. I don't know. What are you gonna do? Yeah, because no matter what, like, even if we let Grief resolve, they just take the Force, and then, like, they still have Subtlety for the Tidebinder, so... Yeah, no, it's rough. Well, yeah, actually, so a lot of people, and this is worth noting, a lot of people thought like Living End would basically just die without Violent Outburst, and no, this deck is actually still something like 5 or 6% of the metagame without Violent Outburst. It is far from dead. This hand is fine. We'll keep it. It has a clock and interaction. We can't really ask for anything more than that. They grief us, We have Scout to help us. Them mulliganing also makes it a lot harder for them to use multiple elementals throughout the match, so we just want to find more interactive stuff. No, we definitely want to keep it there. We'll play Lord of Atlantis next turn, and then, yeah, we have Force and Counterspell to go off, so. If we draw another blue card, that helps us play Trickster the end of their turn, so we can keep adding to the board while also keeping up double interaction, so. Street Wraith in the graveyard, okay. So they've seen we have Force, so they know about at least one thing. That's actually really good here. So that's, yeah, so neither, like, yeah, we're not shutting anything off here, so. Uh, Probably just play the Tide Shaper, right? Well, we're definitely just attacking first, so. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, if they don't do anything, then Trickster just kills them. So we have 8, we can put that into play. I guess it's a matter of if they have Subtlety. It's probably fine. So I could force pitch the counterspell, play the Trickster, and just attempt to kill them. We only lose then if they have Subtlety into another thing. Alright, it looks like we got this. Yeah, okay. I tend to prefer to try to win the game as quickly as possible, because the longer it goes, the more likely they'll have an answer to our answers, so. I think it is worth putting our foot in the gas. Oh, come on, this hand sucks. Alright, if we had one land, like, I would actually probably keep this. They've mulligans, we had a mulligan. This is much better. This is fucking great. We'll just keep this and get rid of a fetch land. Get rid of Scalding Tarn. So we can go Tide Shaper into, like, Hexcatcher, and then we have Counterspell up, so. They're on 5 cards? Ooh, that's even better. Okay. Oh, that's even better. Okay. Alright, pass. I can flash in Hexcatcher in their turn. Actually, you know what? Fuck. I don't have a stop in my end step here. Alright, so they're gonna just do it, I guess. If they have Subtlety, I would actually lose here, so I will play around them having Subtlety. And then our Island Walk here. Yeah, they can't Cascade here, so that's good. Leave this on 2. That way, if they, like, try to do something sneaky... Oh, well, that's just great. Okay. Yeah, like, I don't think that they can come back from this. Yeah, alright. Got there! We beat Living End. Great. First game was a little bit scary, but, alright, yeah. It was just a little risky in game 2, and then game 3 we just kind of, like, crushed them, so... Take it. This is a good start to this league. It's like I said, deck's not broken. Don't fix it. Does exactly what we need it to do. It's just a matter of having the cards when we need them. That's it. Yeah, I guess this is fine. We have a curve that does a thing. They've mulliganed to 6. I mean, we do have Dismember. Maybe, so, like, if we're up against, like, Ragavan or something, we have an answer to it. There's also, like, a very aggressive hand with Tide Shaper into a bunch of Lords, so... Hopefully Svyelun can also help here. Okay, Xander's Lounge. So this might be... Okay. This might be like Wrenn and 6 this turn. This could be creativity. Looks like it, yeah. Okay. Get your fetch land. Like, by the time Wrenn and 6 becomes a problem, we've either won or we've lost the game, so... What we'll probably do here is... It depends upon whether, like... Yeah, it's... Okay, so, yeah, we'll probably keep Dismember up for the next turn. So if they go for Dwarven Mine, we'll get there. Clap almost making you want to play green? Sleeving cards. Yeah, sleeving... Yeah, that's the way to do it. I always really like using the Dragon Shield black mats for my deck all the time. I just get, like, boxes, like, the cases of boxes of those, so... Alright. Oh, Bolt kind of hurts. That's actually really good here. This means I can reasonably just play Svyelun right now. I can pitch the Master to the Force if need be. Or I guess if I play Master here... It depends. Like, there's some possibility they don't play creativity next turn. But I mean, if they play creativity, like I have Dismember for it, and like I attack them for 3 with this here, and then next turn that gives me 6, 8. So they'll get 9 if they fetch the. Because if they just try to get the dwarf token, I can use Dismember to save myself from death here. So like, or I could attack for 2. They'd be at 10. I'd have Svyelun in play, and then next turn I could animate Mutavault, so it'd be 3, 6, 8. Still not quite there. If I play the Master this turn, I could potentially draw another Lord next turn, right? So, and if I do that, I actually win. So I think that my best bet is actually playing Master right now. Just hope they don't have another Lightning Bolt, really. Because this way what happens, they'll go to 9 if they fetch here for the mountain, and then they go to creativity here. I can dismember the token. They'll be at 1, so they won't even be able to fetch for another thing. Sure, you can get that back. It's not going to help you. And I guess if I draw the Lord, I actually just win, so. Well, I mean, it's not nothing. Yeah, like, I don't think they can win from here. Yeah. Yeah, they can't fetch, so, and I have a force up even if they found some way to, like, naturally draw mine into, like, another creativity. This is where, like, the sequencing matters, because if we played Svyelun, they would still be able to fetch this turn, so. Yeah, we have the force up here now to counter the One Ring, so this worked out better this way. I think, generally, if you have a line where a Dismember beats creativity, you should probably take that line, because it won't always. It's always possible that if you don't like use the Dismember now, then later on they might have multiple targets for like creativity, and so Dismember won't be able to deal with it. So like Dismember is kind of a counterspell now up front, and you use it sooner before it stops being a counterspell, and then yeah, you have the Force as backup. So yeah, I think that's just a much better plan. Yeah, and you could see it like it worked out kind of the way we needed it to there. So okay. I don't think that this is actually a match where I want Svyelun. I do want Counterspell, though. Subtlety is actually, like, okay. It's not amazing by any means. The Tidebinder is also fine because it can effectively set them back a turn and lands. It's worse in the draw, but you know what? It's fine. I don't, yeah, it's... The Spreading Seas, like, sort of help or interacts against them, but not really. The Subtlety sort of, like, it does slow down Ren and 6, but you have to have a hand that's, like, you can afford to pitch it. Hmm. I think we just run it like this. Like, there's not a lot of better choices to bring in instead of something. Like, Trickster is somewhat a consideration, but, like, not really. Like, they're really, really close. The Trickster doesn't really do much, but it's cheaper to cast. The Subtlety can actually delay Ren and 6, which can be relevant. And is also a flying creature to just, like, flash in at the end of turn. Potentially, if the game goes that late. I don't know. I think most of the time I'm pitching Subtlety to Force anyway. So they've mulliganed to 6. This hand doesn't actually interact with anything they're doing, and it doesn't have anything to do on turn 1, so I'm not going to keep this against them. This, on the other hand, is actually way better. We are definitely going to keep this. We're just dumping off land, I think. Probably the Otawara. They're likely to get Xander's Lounge in turn 1, and so this will probably be online. Yeah, I think we just have to get rid of Otawara. I mean, if we draw like Vial or Scout, that would be amazing. Yeah, so there's the Lounge. And if they play Ren and 6, then I probably do have to force it. Scout's great. Now I can pitch this Tide Shaper quite easily. Scout helps me ensure that I'm not going to draw nonsense. You know, like, okay. Tide Shaper is now my force food. Okay, so this is interesting. So they don't have Ren and 6. That's good. Oh, that's also very good for us, too. Probably have, like, Lightning Bolt or something. They do. I can't really stop it, so... I mean, it's also possible they just have, like, Fable or something to play next turn, and they're hoping that's enough. Yeah, we're both on 6, so... Okay. Interesting. So they don't have the Reanimate here, right? So... Like, they haven't managed to find a way to discard a thing, so I guess they're just hoping to just get there with creativities. What are we doing? Teferi Time Raveler, I do have to... You know what? No, I don't really. Like, because if they bounce something, I'm just going to kill it. Yeah, it's minus... Like, otherwise they'll plus. I just play Master and then attack it, and it's dead. Sure. This is fine, I guess. Beautiful. Do, 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 do. I think I would rather keep the Hexcatcher in play. I have to kill Teferi, otherwise I don't have any interaction here, so... Oh, fuck, I didn't play my Breeding Pool. That's a blunder. I don't think I mean, I guess I kind of care about this a little bit. Leyline Binding? So what, they're just going to get rid of Hexcatcher? And then this still gets Force? I can just counter this with the Scout, right? Come on, blue card. It's okay, I guess. I mean, it's actually fine because I can still play Master. They can't actually go off here. And I can always just sacrifice the Mutavault now. Like, this is okay. Even if they play the One Ring, I can just use Hexcatcher to counter the thing. So, like, I don't think there's a... Like, they play a fetch land and try to go off with creativity and it doesn't work, so... Okay, we win. Awesome, we just bodied creativity. 3-0, baby, that's how we do. Power of the cards. Merfolk is just dominating. Where's Contra? Come on, why is Contra not here for us for the 5-0? I know, Contra will watch the replay for sure. I'm very confident about that. Which, yeah. While we're at it here, I'll post... It's the 5-0 approaches Contra will be summoned. Yeah, that's possible. Of course, you can always find the replays on my YouTube channel, which are linked in my link tree here, so... Contra was never there when you 5-0'd? Oh, wow. Contra's been here a couple times for it. Yeah, you can find all of my relevant social media, my Twitter, Facebook page, the YouTube, where all the replays go. And if you watch the replays, could you click the thumbs up on it? That would help me a lot. That'd be great. You know, love that. Love that for me. That'd be great. Do me a favor and click the thumbs up for morale. But yeah, this is great. Navigated this perfectly. Well, okay, we didn't play the breeding pool. That was a mistake, but it didn't actually affect anything, so it's technically not perfect. Should have played it, but it didn't matter. Never did we not have it. I'm gonna miss Scout. Like, Scout is like such a good one-drop for this deck. But the problem is, like, I don't think our mana base can support playing Harbinger of the Seas and Scout. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I might be like, I can't support Scout, Flare, and Harbinger, but I think maybe it could support 2 of those cards, but it can't support all 3. This is a really poor hand. We only have 5 mana sources here. I think I need more action than this. This is much better. I don't know what we're going to be up against, but I feel like we're depending on getting to 3 mana for this. Get rid of a Svyelun. It's always fucking Urza Tower here, isn't it? Alright. I mean, the first hand wouldn't have been any better here, but... Well, they don't have Tron for turn 3. That's a plus. They kept 7 cards without intending to play Tron in turn 1, so... Alright, we need to draw, like, Force. Because they're going to play a Tron land here, and then I'm probably going to have to play Tishana's Tidebinder on whatever it is they play next turn. It's a power plant. They have the mine in hand, so we're going to have to Tidebinder them this turn. No, of course we only draw lands now. Like, this is ridiculous. Alright. This is not looking promising for this game. You gonna fucking dismember me? Okay. That is so bad for me. Wow, we're just gonna get obliterated here. That makes sense. They just have everything. Okay. The only thing that's good is that if they blow up the Oblivion Stone, then they lose their Karn as well, so... okay, I can play the Svyelun here. I could, I don't think I'm supposed to actually attack Karn, because, like, if they pop this, right, Karn goes away, and Tidebinder goes away. I can keep Svyelun in play. So, but in order to do that, I have to play the Cenote Scout as a sacrificial lamb to keep Svyelun alive. But this is what's necessary at the moment. Naturally, we draw another fucking land, of course. Why wouldn't we? Alright. Okay. I'm assuming they're just going to crack Relic and Star to just find stuff at the moment. I need them to find nothing and to just blow up everything. Okay, that'll do it. Everything! Had everything! Oh my god. Alright, Spreading Seas and Counterspell for sure. Subtlety for sure. I don't like Dismember for this, and I don't like Svyelun here. And I have to take out one more card, which will probably just be Trickster. Tidebinder is actually fine. I don't think Pick Your Poison really does anything terribly useful, so everything else is important, so we just run this back. No chance that game. Wow. Alright. It's fine, we can do this. I am not going to be sad about turning all their lands into islands ever. I'm going to be so happy to do that. Fuck Spreading Seas. We are jamming 4 Harbinger of the Seas, and we're going to turn all of their lands into islands. And then the only card we have to worry about them having is, like, Dismember. And as long as we can protect Harbinger, we win. I think I actually am supposed to keep this. Play Vial into Hexcatcher, and we have, like, forces and stuff, so... They have Mulligan to 6, which means, like, if they play, like, Mulligan to 5. So, again, if they play, like, Map or something, we just force it and we just probably win. Just literally putting any pressure into play should be enough. Definitely put that in the graveyard. That's good. And we'll probably just Violin Hexcatcher and hope that's enough. Absolutely not. Keep them as far away from Tron as we can. I might... This is tough. Like, I might actually need to tick this Vial up here. Fuck! Alright, I have to counter this. I cannot let them get more lands with this. Alright, I'm gonna go up here. It's fine. Hold that back for when I get a land. See? It worked. Alright. Alright, sure. I need to actually just vial this in so I have pressure in the board. Alright, so they're at 8 here, so if I put the Tide Shaper in play, it actually turns it into a 2-turn clock. And if I draw the land, I have Counterspell active anyway. So I think I actually do need to play this. So they have 2 turns. I'm just looking for lands. Alright. My best draw, I think, is like Island. They found Urza's Tower. Okay, that doesn't really help them. This is like one of the weirder ways we're going to get there, but hopefully we will. Alright, well, that was pretty good. I mean, that's good. That does keep us in this, so... I just need them not to find, like, the One Ring. Well, they have to be really careful, because if they activate it, like, they're very close to just actually dying, so... Alright. Fuck. We have gone through, like, the top 16 cards of our deck here, and they have another One Ring. Okay. Again, if we found an island at any point here, we, like, literally just kill them. Alright. Okay, well, you know what? That might be good enough. If they just cast anything, I can cast Counterspell, and hopefully that's enough. Well, they go to 1 here, so again, they can't activate this, otherwise now they have to play another One Ring, or they, like, will die, so, sure. But I'm pretty sure the Counterspell being online means that we're safe, probably. Actually, maybe not. Wormcoil Engine, Alright, let's go for it. Alright, got there. Fucking barely, though. Wow! Alright. That was an uphill battle for sure, but we managed to get there. Alright. Okay. Want to make any changes here? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to just run this back. Like, I almost want to have another Trickster, but, like, the rest of the cards are too important. Why is this my life? Why does this keep happening to me? They're starting with 7, we're on 6. Why? What? Oh, fuck. Alright, I have to keep it, right? I have to. It's not good. Yeah, alright. This is just like my life. Alright. It's not over, but like this is not looking good. They're on track to get easy 7-card turn 3 Tron, and like we have very little we can do about it. They played mine first. Well, that does help a little bit. Just hope they don't have Dismember. Sure. No, I have to force that. I mean, actually, maybe I didn't. Well, no, like, I could have held on to Tidebinder, but that's a little bit awkward to do. Alright. That means I have to, like, basically use that forever. That was a decent draw here. Lets me get some pressure on, and if they play the One Ring, I can at least counter it. If they find mine, I'm kind of sunk, though. Of course, they just naturally find it. Alright. That is a worm coil that I can't deal with. I need an Island Walk Lord, and if I don't find one, then I basically just die. Sure. I lose. Like, I cannot defeat this. The deck is just, like, completely fallen apart in Game 3 here. Tidebinder would not have helped us against this. Yeah, that's bad. Well, they only found Spear, so that's probably helpful. All right, you know what? That's fine. I can't. I'm not going to be able to defeat them having the One Ring. Game 3 was just not meant to be ours. It was just like ridiculously stacked against us. So, like they got to keep an incredibly strong 7, and we had like a really poor hand. So, and it did not develop any better. I don't know. I tried. Alright, well, again, like, that is a match that is going to get a lot better for us in Modern Horizons 3, so. Fuck. guess I'm keeping this. I'm not, like, super excited to keep this, but I have to. Guess I play the Grove first so that they don't necessarily know what we're doing. And I'll probably Subtlety any creature that they play just to slow them down enough. This is, like, one of the few kind of hands where Subtlety is actually, like, gonna be very useful on turn 1. Like... Interesting. Lockthwain, so this might be Coffers. Could be Scam. That's not really what we wanted to see here. I don't want more Masters. I want my 3rd land so that Svyelun can get online. This looks like this might be Scam here, so I'm not gonna let... if I can get Svyelun out before they start scamming me, like, I will be in a much better spot here, so... I put it on the bottom. Alright, that's gotta be good, right? Shadow Spear. Interesting. Wow, maybe their hand sucked. Alright, Dismember's a good one to pick up here. It might mean that they have another Grief to try to scam us again next turn. Honestly, like, it doesn't really matter what 2 cards they take. Like, all 3 of our cards are very good, so... They didn't have a second land, so that is fantastic for us. Like, even if they got a Grief here, it wouldn't matter that much. Okay, Thoughtseize is not going to help them. Like, we are going to like, they can take either one, and we'll probably still crush them. Come on, land! Land! You know what? That's close enough. That's really good here. Lord of Atlantis! Obliterate! Yeah, okay, we win. Alright, actually, I gotta... Alright, Alright, so this looks like this is mono black scam. So they have Bowmasters. We want the Dismembers for sure. We do play like Shieldred, but yeah, basically their plan is just scam me in turn 1. Probably Tideshaper's not the best versus this deck. They do have Urza Saga, though, so maybe we are supposed to have Tideshaper, actually. Well, okay, so maybe, like... What's not good? Probably Hexcatcher's not good against them. Let's say that. Trickster or Subtlety could be fine. We do have Shieldred, which is worth noting. Stern Scolding is also not the worst card. Force of Negation is probably really bad. Scalding has got to be better, right? Because it counters, like, almost all their threats. I mean, I feel like we should have a pretty good shot here. Probably just bringing in, like, Damnation or something like that. It's not hugely concerned by that. I feel like Scalding is probably fine. Maybe Subtlety here. Alright, let's go. It's hard. Like, Counterspell and Trickster are both what they both feel like they're close, right? So yeah, like we have enough good cards. I think this will be fine. They are definitely playing Urza Saga, and that's why they have the Shadow Spear. So we definitely want to be able to kill those things with like RCs and um, Tide Shapers. What the draw? It's not the worst, right? Because if they go to Scamma, it's not good if they do, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't think we can afford to throw this away, so I think we have to keep this and just hope that, it's fun. Whatever they do will probably hurt a little bit, but we'll have to just live with it. I'm getting rid of Bowmasters here, which means, like, what am I looking to do here? Play Aether Vial. It's not going to really help me very much. I can Subtlety this, like, it is worth noting, like, and I probably would want to pitch Lord of Atlantis to this. The Tide Shaper is castable. That way I can play, like, Vial, and then later on I can definitely play my 2-drops no matter what. I think I am actually supposed to do this here. And I think this is also likely that we're going to lead off on Mutavault. They put Grief on top, so they're definitely going to try to do it again next turn. And Tidebinder doesn't really matter here, but it also means that even if we draw another island, we wouldn't need it next turn anyway, so play the Mutavault, get the Vial out, so they can do whatever they want. So, like, okay, they have to, like, Grief me again here, otherwise, like, yeah, okay. It's fine. Do what you gotta do, man. I'll probably just take Tide Shaper and Dismember. I don't think the Tide Shaper or the Tidebinder matters a whole lot to them. But it does technically, like, stop this from popping off, so sure. Like, you have to take the Tide Shaper here, right? Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. You don't... Yeah, that's fine. So I play Island, I just attack them for 2. No, I don't have to put it on the stack. Yeah, okay. Yes, take it out. Not bad. Yeah. Get in there, I guess. And then we kind of want to draw another land so that we can pop the Saga. They only have 1 card left, so like if we find like Dismember or something and get rid of this, like we actually are pretty well off here. And it depends on what their last card is, like. Okay. Like if it's just like a removal spell, it might not matter. Okay. Well, they found Urborg, so they can get a construct here. It's not great that grief is hurting me. I think it's probably a mistake to do this right now. They're not representing anything else happening here. Alright, I definitely have to just pop off this saga. So I get that. Of course, they find another one, though. Like, what? That was just, to be expected. I don't like this, but I have to do it. Um, doesn't really help me now. I guess I have to wait for them to make a construct, hopefully. They might sequence this wrong, so if they like make the construct before combat then and attack, then I can just kill the construct and then block this one. Let's see. Yeah, them being like having the scam in the play was a little bit rough. What are you gonna do? This card is like probably gonna get banned from Legacy in the next like month or two, I would guess. Before the end of the summer, I'm calling that this is getting banned from Legacy. And honestly, I really wish it would get banned from Modern too, because I really think this is like one of the worst cards that has ever been printed in this format. It just creates so many non-games. And it does the exact same thing in it does the same thing in Legacy that it does in Modern, except it's worse because even though you have Force of Will, they have Reanimate, which is actually like better than this not did after all. Alright, well, Subtlety gets ticked up here. Vial, that doesn't really help. Uh, just have to have blockers, I guess. Just hope they don't have, like, Fatal Push. They can have 2 constructs plus the Shadow Spear, so it'd be like a 3/3. Ugh, that's rough. Yeah, this is good. This goes all kinds of south, like... I have to try to block with this Mutavault. I think they're just going to make another construct and get probably Shadow Spear. Well, they got the rack. Oh my god. Yeah, that's brutal. Alright, yeah, I'm actually just dead. That was insane. Okay, well, new plan. I think we're gonna bring these in instead. These can either kill Saga or they can either kill the Saga or they can actually kill the Rax, so might actually be see, this is rough because like they have both Grief and Thoughtseize, so like let's say we open up a hand with Stern Scolding to start off with, like we can try to keep it to fight Grief, and then they can just Thoughtseize us, and then it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter ever anyway. It's so rough. It's like, so yeah, there's not very much we can do about this deck. I don't know. It's not this deck. It's Grief in particular. Like that one card, I think is like it's the least interactable card in this entire format because like when your opponent just has it like on turn one, there's like basically nothing that you can do about it. So can't keep this. This is also like not great. Like, what do I do if they just like scam me here? Then I can't really afford to waste subtlety, right? It's like, sure, you take a trickster. Uh, you can take my subtlety. I will top deck Stern Scolding and hope that I can just keep you from having creatures. Alright, that's not great for me. I need to draw a Lord really badly. Ooh, that's also rough. Yeah, Scolding doesn't do anything about that. I need, like, Svyelun really badly here, so I kind of have to tick this up, because if I draw a 3-drop, I need to be able to put it in play. Sure. So if they do nothing here, that might suggest to me that they have, interesting, okay. They might have, like, Fatal Push. Actually, they can block with Factory and Pump It, so that's not good for us. I don't really have a good attack here because of this Factory. I'll probably just keep this Sanctum in hand right now. Because if I attack with Trickster, they'll just animate this and pump it itself, so, like, yeah, I can't really attack. This is rough. Yeah, that's bad. Sure, fuck me. Can't do anything about that. Alright. So, literally, I think the only thing that I could not play right now is a Subtlety, so... The question is, do I want to play this? Because I might want to keep it in my hand for the rack. You know what, maybe I should... Thinking about this, yeah, maybe I should have kept Spreading Seas, because just because it can give me the Island Walk with and put cards back in my hand to fight against the rack. Okay, Void Walker, ugh, that's not great. Yep. Well, okay, so this thing can't block, so I can actually attack this turn. That's a good thing. The thing is, if I draw a 2-drop with this, then I can't actually play it right now. I don't really have a lot of good lines here, because I can just get Shadow Spear and put it on the Void Walker, and that's a pretty significant clock. I'm going to have a hard time racing it now. This is actually a little bit harder of a match than I anticipated it would be. I don't know if it's better or worse than, like, the red-black version. Like, this does feel like this is more similar to, like, how the Legacy version of this deck plays out. Which, is, yeah, is, like, one of the most winning decks in that format right now, so... Yeah, I don't know. It's... Pithing Needle? Oh, they're probably going to just name Grove, I assume. Right? Because there's no way you name Vial here. You have to name Waterlogged Grove. They named fucking Aether Vial. That doesn't make sense. Like, why? It's so bad. Why would you not just get, like, Shadow Spear and just slap it on this Void Walker and just go to town? Like an unblockable 4/3 lifelinker? Okay. Like, I don't really need my Vial that badly. I don't know that it's gonna matter, though, but, yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. We just die. Alright, whatever. That was brutal. Alright. Again, though, like, I have to imagine Harbinger of the Seas is gonna help a lot with that, because it just, like, this deck probably just falls apart if they just can't use Urza Saga, so... If we can just get Harbinger of the Seas in play, and they just don't get to make, like, infinity constructs and search for stuff, then, it's gotta be better for us, right? The only problem is grief. But that is forever going to be the problem in every format that it's like a thing. So I don't know what you're supposed to do. Another league, we started off really strong and then just kind of got like shit on at the end. Oh well. The cards, I think, we're like, I don't think that there is better stuff that we could be playing. I still think that this was like the correct choice of cards, like, because we still wanted to have basically all these cards, right? So I think we used the entire sideboard, so again, that's probably a good sign that the sideboard was useful. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Like, we've been playing the same list for a while, and like, yeah, it really just kind of comes down to like, a lot of the games we lose, we just end up like having really poor hands, or you know what, draw like 5 lands, yeah, that's or terrible. Like just mulligan to 5, like it's, or you know just getting like grief scammed in turn 1, where it literally like doesn't matter what hand you kind of keep against them, they're just gonna rip it apart, and then yeah, it always makes it hard. So yeah, we're gonna get the most out of this until Modern Horizons 3 for sure. Like we don't. There's nothing better, I think, for us to be doing than this at the moment. But once we get Harbinger of the Seas, then the calculation's going to change. Then it's going to become out of Scout, Harbinger, and Flare. What are like the 2 cards that I want to play the most? And it's probably going to be Flare and Harbinger. It is, I think, possible to build the list to use Scout and Harbinger together. Because you're gonna want to play Scout before Harbinger anyway. So like and then it is possible that like you can vial them in later, but like even otherwise, like Harbinger is a card, like once it resolves, like if it sticks in the board, the game is probably going to be locked for a while. Like there's very few cards that are going to break it, because there's not a lot of blue removal, and like most of the decks do not have a lot of basics to help them break that board stall. So, and we can still cast literally every other card in the deck besides Scout. So like I think it is possible to construct a deck that has Scout and Harbinger. It's just the only thing is, you probably can't play Flare and Scout and Harbinger because you need blue creatures in turn 1 for Flare. So you really want Dockhand to go with that instead. But again, like, if we don't want Flare, then we can keep Scout, and I think we could keep Harbinger, and we can still play the mana base similar to what we're doing right now. I think that works. But yeah. Scout turn 1 will be poor Flare, exactly. So it's if you're not playing with Flare, I think you can still play with those 2 cards. If you are playing with Flare, you kind of have to play with Dockhand. Like so I guess a lot of how the deck is gonna turn up is gonna depend on how good is Flare as a card. Because if it's like, if it's good enough, then we probably will want Dockhand and just play the mono blue mana base. But I mean, otherwise, like it is still possible to play Scout and that together. And it means we won't be able to play, like, Pick Your Poison with it, though, because I'm not playing a basic forest to play that sideboard card. That will become something else for sure. But otherwise, like, everything else might be possible. Like, what would we change? Like, if we were going to play like this, like, how would we want to change this? Probably, like, what? I definitely would still want to have 4 Harbingers here, so, like, probably, like, the Tricksters and, like, a Tidebinder and, like, I don't know, maybe like a Subtlety or something. We just put in 4 Harbingers with that, and then like the Subtlety can go to the sideboard, because these are going to go away, and we'll have probably Scalding and Spreading Seas will go away, because we can play Consigned to Memory that like kind of slots in over both of these. Counterspell would still probably be playable if we really wanted it, which, I mean, that is a consideration. If we don't need Flare, this is still fine, and then could also move Trickster to the sideboard. So there is definitely a world where like we might still continue playing with this card, but it's going to really depend upon how badly we want to play with like Flare. So we'll have to see that, but until then, like, I'm not changing the shell, because I think that the shell works. This is about as good as it's going to ever get. So I don't really see like a huge improvement to be made in this, because we have all the cards that we need. It's just a matter of like yeah, just whether we see them in the matches that we want or not. So, like, some people might prefer to put, like, the Subtlety or, like, the Trickster in the main deck, or, like, the Stern Scolding here, and, like, not have the Dismember or, like, the Force here. That's just personal preference, and that just kind of, you just roll the dice and whatever you think you're going to play against, but, this is, like, close enough where it's a pretty safe hedge against most of the stuff that you're going to run against, and Yeah, I think that it's fine. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. So I'm really looking forward to playing with Harbinger. Like I'm definitely jamming 4 of that in my deck. It's just Consign to Memory is a card that I definitely want some number in my sideboard, and I don't know exactly how many, but I'm guessing like maybe 3 might be a good number. Because there's a lot of stuff that they kind of replace these cards on. Maybe all 4. They might actually be good enough for that. There's a lot, like the triggered abilities is like really important. There's enough colorless spells, especially with the One Ring. Like it could be worth it. So there's very few matches where I think where it does nothing. So it could be worth having all of them. I don't know, but I definitely want some of them there. And then yeah, like I said, the only thing I'm not sure about is like, am I playing Flare in my deck or not? Like, if again, do I like Flare more than I like Scout? And that will probably require some playtesting to figure that out. Because I do think that like again, Scout like really, it is like our best one drop besides Aether Vial. It's just the not having the synergy with our new counterspell is kind of a detriment. But if we don't like the counterspell, then maybe this is fine. We'll see. So, well, I don't know. We'll see. It's not that long from now. We'll get to try it out. So that's enough for today. We are done with our league, so we gotta go and find someone else to go and check in on. Who is actually playing magical cards right now? That's a good question. There's not always like there's not a lot of people that like end up playing at the same time that I'm usually finishing up my stream here. So yeah, it's uh, mm, yeah, like a lot of people like to play like arena and stuff. So like I see there's some Pauper going on, there's some Legacy going on. Do we have any like modern? Usually I like to send if people are playing modern, I like to go and send them to watch the same format we were just playing. So uh, let's see. I don't know. Like I'm always looking to see. Like I see a lot of arena. Not like a okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll do this. I have no idea what this is. All right. Yeah. Chat. Do you have suggestions? I'm always open to suggestions. All right. Well, like you know what? That's fine. I've been playing a fair bit of Pauper recently, so I've actually been enjoying that a lot. So you know what? Maybe we'll go and check that out. Oh wait, okay, no, here we go. Young Peasy's playing the Modern Challenge. Okay, never mind. We got Modern. All right, we're gonna go and check that out. Cool, excellent. One other person's playing Modern apparently, so we found it. Uh, it'd be nice if Twitch would actually like figure out where this channel was, though. They're not streaming anymore? Is that what happened? Did they just like end? Maybe that's why. Did my internet die? Like, why is Twitch not even loading anymore? Oh my god. Oh wait, no, are we back? Okay, I think we're back. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're gonna go. We're sending them there. Everyone, thank you for watching. Again, if you're watching my replay, click the thumbs up. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you again next week. We'll do more of this until Modern Horizons drops, and we'll get our Harbinger. So, till then, take it easy, everybody.